Greetings, African people. Today I want to talk about morality. Talk about this in a way that you understand that you ought to live your life based on your own rules and the expectations you have for yourself. Because if we rely on society to guide us and teach us, we find over time we become disillusioned. So I believe morality is social constructed. Because individuals want to dictate our life and tell us how we ought to live based on their expectation of us. It is their way of getting us to fall into line so that they can dominate and control us. So each person has to define what is morality for themselves, because there's so many contradictions in our society. On one hand, we're told that this makes you a decent human being, and the individuals that put this out there for us to follow don't follow these rules. So let's look at some concrete evidence, for example. Let's look at smoking. A lot of people that are religious say you're not supposed to smoke, it is immoral to smoke. It is a health problem, but I don't think it's immoral. Smoking, I don't see how someone smoking are using their own given right to participate in a habit that is not hurting you. Because unless the person is smoking around you and causing you to have secondhand smoke, it really isn't any of your business. But, it's seen in religious circles as a moral issue. Yet, this great moral issue is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We're told that cigarettes kill, guns kill, poison kill, cigarettes kill too. And for some reason, the moral debate doesn't go to the point where you ban these substances. People are still able to go out and purchase this with a big skull and bone showing you that it will kill. Cancer is a big killer of mankind these days. And yet, Monsanto and all these other food places poison us with food all the time. So, thou shalt not kill. So, we're being killed with cigarettes, we're being killed with poisonous foods. And we don't really see the world up in arms about this kind of thing. When you look at these ads on TV promoting things that will kill you, because you see, for example, a drug that is on the market for whatever sickness, and when you see how this drug will help you to overcome your sickness, and then when you look at the side effects, the side effects are actually worse than what it's able to do for you. So you have a headache and you take a pill, and when you're done taking this pill, you're going to get a heart attack, you're going to get all kinds of paralysis, but it's being promoted. So the whole idea of morality based on its convenience, because on one hand, it is convenient for us all to be moral, decent citizens, but when the time comes for individuals to, rob and pillage and murder and rape, they forget about these rules, these golden rules. Contradictions are everywhere. A person who's an alcoholic, another one of those deadly things like alcohol that kills. It's clear scientific research and experiential experience teaches us that alcohol is a poison. Marijuana is banned and is now coming forward as the super drug that it always was, but people find it convenient to accept it now. There's money to be made. But alcohol, which is one of those poisons, you can buy it now in many places in your supermarket. And a person who is drunk and acting disorderly is arrested by the police officer, who brings him to the station, books him, and he has to appear in court. And then he leaves, that same police officer goes to the bar and drink and probably get drunk too. The irony. Anyway, what I really wanted to point out today, I went to a pharmacy on the weekend and I saw something. And it was very comical, but it was disturbing at the same time. I was waiting in the pharmacy, was not feeling well, and there's a section where you can sit down. So I sat down for a few minutes to just compose myself. And while I was there, I noticed that there was a shelf with all different brochures with different kinds of disease, from high blood pressure, even pregnancy was included in that. I guess, giving you idea of how to take care of yourself as a pregnant woman. Diabetes, you just name it. All the different diseases were there, and the pamphlets were there for you to learn more about these diseases. And one caught my eye, and I looked closely. First one I looked at was this one. I hope you can see it. Take a look at this man's face. A happier guy than this you can never find. Just the way he looks, he's so happy, and he has high blood pressure. This pamphlet give you an opportunity to see, what is blood pressure, how is blood pressure measured, what is high blood pressure, hypertension, what causes it, what is low blood pressure, so on and so forth. This pamphlet seeks to educate you about this thing. But this man who has high blood pressure, he has a beautiful smile. He looks very happy. Then I saw one with diabetes, and it was a woman also, and she was very happy. This is a big area, this wide against the wall, with all these different shelves with these pamphlets. And every person who was suffering from a deadly kind of disease, because we both know high blood pressure, the effects of having high blood pressure is deadly. But somehow, this guy is a very happy guy. He's having his breakfast, and in spite of his diagnosis, is quite happy. Then there was one pamphlet with a black man. Here it is. Here is the black man. And it says, this is not a good time. And I think it's advertising, it's like a tourism / drug kind of advertisement. So everybody, those with high blood pressure, diabetes, AIDS, you name it, every single person had a smile on their face. But this guy who has diarrhea, it said that this is not a good time. This guy was not having a good time, and this guy was buried in the sand. Now, I had a good laugh about it, because what this demonstrates for me is how I feel about who we are as Black people in this world. Now, my problem is not with the individual who took this picture. My problem is with this guy, this head that is buried in the sand. Because this is a story of a lot of Black people in the world. Our heads are buried deep in the sand. The other diseases that these other guys were suffering, they were all happy, all smiling, had a wonderful, pleasant experience with these deadly disease. Diarrhea, they ain't killing nobody. If you die from diarrhea, there are other precipitating factors. But really, nobody really dies from having diarrhea. But this Black man was not having a good time. He's buried deep in the sand. You think that is not racism? But the problem really is not with the guy who took the picture or the ones who make this brochure to advertise this drug called whatever it's called. My problem is with the Black man who allowed somebody to dig a hole and stick him in there and bury him to his neck. He looks like a clown, like a real idiot. And that's the problem with a lot of African people, a lot of African men around the world. They don't mind being used. They don't mind that the world represent them as idiots and desperate. He's like a potato head. Look at his face. He's not having a good time because he has diarrhea. This goes across the board because you find in the movie industry, people are always begging people to accept them because they don't accept themselves. In the music industry, sometimes you hear the same cry because individuals don't accept themselves. But that's not the only thing. They don't set the bar very high for themselves. And I had a conversation with someone, but I don't want to talk about him now. But he blew me away with some of his arguments because as Black people, we have to change our value. Our value system is so screwed up, so messed up, so pathetic that individuals will always invite us to a table where all they do is insult us and we congratulate them and thank them for doing so. Isn't that a shame? What a disgrace. We start out talking about contradictions in life, talk about moral and values. You have to define your own values and your own morals and stick to them and not allow other men to tell you how to live your own life. And as African people, we have to look carefully at the things that we participate in us that is used to denigrate us. We can't be too blind. Look at TV. Every time you see an ad on the TV that has a Black person, it is always in a very negative light. If it's about something to clean your house and it's another race of people, they're so happy and everything is pristine clean and everything is beautiful. But when it comes to Black persons, it's something stinky, it's dirty, it's negative. And we gladly participate in it because we love money so much that we're willing to do any damn thing for the money. And as much as we claim we love money, when we do get that money, we really don't put it to any use. So it's like sand coming through our fingers. Our value system needs to change. And we have to learn to be a little bit more self-respecting and not allow individuals to treat us like heads in the sand. Be blessed, everybody. Think on these things.